All right, everybody. Welcome to Roundtable News. I'm Jeff Glover. Let's get started. The first thing we have here is starting Jiu Jitsu on your knees. So, this can throw people off at first when they first come into Jiu Jitsu. They're like, oh, I'm going to learn this deadly martial art I've heard so much about. And then they see guys sitting on their knees, shaking hands, and wrestling. To some dudes who have experience in wrestling and other fighting styles, it kind of looks like you're a little bitch. Bitch. They're like, what are you doing on the knees? And you kind of have to explain to them and let them know that, it's an injury prevention thing, that a lot of the worst injuries happen on the way to the ground. So by starting on the knees, you already eliminate a lot of the potential catastrophic injuries that can happen. So, and it's also been used for, being able to quickly slip to your side and be sitting on your butt and be able to work your guard, because a lot of guys need to work their guard more than anything. Remember jiu-jitsu primarily, like the thing that separates jiu-jitsu from all the other martial arts is the guard. Is that we use the guard. Is we're like, yeah, I'm purposely going to put my back on the ground and fight from there and become really good at that. So that's often what I run into is people kind of think you're like a little bitch because you want to start on the knees. And you're like, you know what? Now that I think about it, you're right. Well, when people start on the knees, I would like to see one of them become the guard player voluntarily without having to be forced into it. And in fact, in jiu-jitsu class, it should be a race to get to the guard. You guys should be battling over who gets to play guard first. There's, especially nowadays, there's wrestling classes you can take where the focus of being on top is what's going on in the class. So I think if you're going to be starting on the knees, it's just a shortcut to getting to the guard, which is what it's all about. 70% of jiu-jitsu is guard play, is either being on top and trying to pass or being on bottom and trying to sweep submit. You'll see dudes fight from the knees. You'll see dudes from the knees like square up on each other and try to like judo each other over fighting from the knees. And it looks pretty silly. I can see how dudes want to win that battle, And let me encourage you guys that are doing that. If you're starting on the knees, try to have a different mentality. Try to think about quickly getting to your guard so that you can practice the guard techniques that you should be working on, right? A lot of your jiu-jitsu should be having a confident guard, a guard that you're not embarrassed of, and you're sure as heck you're not afraid to show people. You're sure as heck not afraid to get to the guard. You should never be afraid of your guard. You should be proud of your guard. You should be in a rush to get to your guard. You can't wait to get to your guard because you know you're going to sweep, dude. You know you're going to get that triangle, whatever it is. That's how I always saw it. So when I would see guys, two guys shake hands starting on the knees and they get into this like try to knock each other over battle, I kind of feel like it's a waste of time. I feel like if you're going to do that, go do a wrestling class. But that's just me, People might have a different opinion about that.